Section 2.2 of Module 2, Designing a Power Plant. The first step is start adding the receptacles we just imported to Revit in the walls. So we're going to add the panel board. We're going to create the circuits and assign them to the panel we created. We're going to create a special receptacles or loads and assign the type of load to the panel. We're going to add wiring in the receptacles and tag all the elements. Okay, let's start adding the receptacles. So to add the receptacles, we just go to Systems tab and click on the drop down fixture or receptacle. It's only a host element. So to place them, you need to select the vertical face where placing it at, like you see in the description, and hover over the wall, and you will see automatically it's gonna show. So I'm gonna place it in the instruction room. Let's gonna work in this room, and that's it. Really simple, right? We just place the electrical elements, namely the receptacles, in the instruction room. Now let's go ahead and add the panel board. How do we find the panel board? The panel board, it's under, next to devices, under the System tab and electrical equipment. So select electrical equipment, and again, Revit already has an electrical equipment predetermined, but if you need to find it, just go to Load Family and you will search on the Revit library. Let's pick a place where we can place this panel board. Let's select the 225. For the design, it doesn't make any difference. It's just aesthetic. So I'm gonna place this way because this seems to be a concrete wall or something where we cannot place it inside. So let's pick this place, and just like that, we have the panel board already. So let's create the circuits and assign the circuits to the panel board. These are really simple tasks with Revit, and you will see how you do it. Select the electrical symbol, the duplex receptacle, and there's under Modify tab that shows when you select this, it's gonna pop up an option that says Power. Click on it. It's gonna ask you, where do you want to connect this? So there's two options. Under the drop down menu, you have the panel right here that you can select, or you can manually select the panel. If you don't know, if you have several panels and you have several names, you can select it. So I'm gonna click on Select Panel and select it in the field. So now this element is circuited to that panel. You don't see it yet, but when we go ahead and create a schedule, you will see the difference. So I want to include this other three receptacles to that too. So you're gonna select the one you created the circuit for, and you click on Electrical Circuits. Okay. After that, it's gonna tell you, do you see this dashed line? This is telling you that it's connected to that panel. Even though it's not drawn in the model, we are gonna proceed later to draw it in the model. So you select the option. When you click on the receptacle, you can see that if you click in this one, you don't have that option. You have the power option, which you can do it one by one, but we're gonna do it faster. So we're gonna select the one that's circuited, select Electrical Circuits, click Edit Circuit, and now the ones that are shaded are the ones that are selectable. This one is already not selectable because it's already circuited. So click on this one, click on this one, and click on this one, and you will see how they become brighter. So it's telling you what panel are you connecting to. 225 amps, 120 volts, 208 volts. So finish editing circuit, and now we have the receptacle circuit. So now let's imagine for a moment that there's another load that we want to place in the model. This, I tell you this because there's much more loads that are not connectable through a receptacle, but how do you reflect that in the model? One of the ways to do that is just with a junction box or an special receptacle. So to import a junction box, you go to Insert tab, Load Family, and let's search for a junction box we can use. So let's select electrical. Under distribution, we have the junction box. We got with load and with no load. In this case, let's select the load and click open. So let's place it. Go to System tab, Electrical Equipment, and you see now it's not under Electrical Equipment. So it's under Electrical Devices again. This is good because we might have an AC unit inside here. We can symbol the connection for, and we can place a note later. But now we have the load. The important thing with this load is something generic that you can tell Revit, hey, I want to assign a load for this, and I want to assign what is going to be the type of my load. How to connect this to the panel? Very simply. You go to the power option, just like you did with the receptacles, and you assign the panel. So I want to do this load a little different. I want to convert this, instead of being one pole like the receptacles, I'm going to do this one at 240 or 208 volts, 2 poles. You can see here that this already under Properties tab, you can get the drop down open and see that you got a 4-inch square 208 2. This means that this is a 2-pole load. So Revit is going to tell me a warning or an error that says the family no longer matches the properties of the circuit. This is good that this appeared because it's telling you that it's going to disconnect the family from the panel. So I'm going to go ahead and say disconnect. Revit is going to give me a sound. So as you can see again, this doesn't have any connection to the panel. So I'm going to assign it again to the panel. Click on power, select the panel, and now I have Revit already connecting me the panel. Revit is telling me that it selected the 2 and the 4. Remember, this is a 2-pole load, and it's using 2 circuits. And this one, if I click on it and go under electrical circuits, it's telling me that it's the number 1 circuit. Now we have created a special purpose load, and we have assigned the circuit to it. We can also vary more elements. We can vary here the load and the power factor. If we modify the load, let's say 750, this will be changing in the load calculations in the panels that we are going to see later. Finally, let's go ahead and add the wiring and the tags. Since we have already, keep in mind that you need to add the circuits before wiring, because Revit is smart enough to recognize what to connect with. So I'm gonna hover over this without clicking and hit the tab button. When you click under what's shown, you're gonna have the option to select the wire type. You got it either here or up above here. I'm gonna select arc wire, and voila, have Revit Connect automatically creates the wire for it. I don't like wiring. A lot of people like wiring. I'm just showing you, you can do whatever you prefer to do. I prefer to assign the circuits and tags to each of the elements instead of adding wire, because wire sometimes becomes confusing. Also, I'm gonna give you a little trick here. If this means the circuits, this is not to use anymore. So to get this to not show in the model, go to Manage tab, Additional Settings, I'm sorry, not Additional Settings, MEP Settings, Electrical Settings, and select Wiring. And there's an option that says Show Tick Marks, and I will do home runs only. So now Revit has deleted the ones that are not home runs. Home run. Home run is the last element that is going to the panel. Like you can see here, the home run is from this receptacle. So let's add the wire to this one too. And since this one doesn't connect to any other element, let's just hover over it, hit tab, click on it, and it's gonna show me the option to do arc wire. I'm gonna do arc wire, and now Revit is doing an arc wire. You can modify this. This is too long, so I'm gonna bring this circle down here. I'm gonna bring this square, which is the main arrow tick mark. Okay, now I have this. You can see a difference here. And the difference is that this is a 2-pole, and you can see how Revit recognizes that and adds 2 lines on the wire. Why is that? Because it's 2 hot wires, the neutral wire plus the ground. And the same here, 1 hot wire, 1 neutral, 1 ground. You can, this is convention on the design, on the electrical design. You can leave it or take it from the option I showed you before. Now we have created the wire. Let's add the tags. So to add the tags, like I told you always with the commands, you have a command that is T and G. And you just click on the element you want to tag, and you will see what it shows. So I'm gonna click on the home run right here, but before clicking on it, it's showing me a line, which is the leader that is pointing towards the 1. So I'm gonna uncheck the leader box here, and I'm gonna put the 1 here, insert the 1 right here. After I insert it, I directly can move it. This is telling me that this is circuit 1. Again, if you don't want to use wires, you can also do this and click on here, and I'm gonna show you how to change this. I'm gonna click on all of them to show you this. Click on the tag, and there's 2 options that show: electrical device circuit tag and electrical device panel tag. This is telling me that this is the panel I'm connected to, but I'm gonna select the device circuit tag. And now look how it changed. Now I have the circuit number. Again, I do the same. Electrical device circuit tag. I can select both of them holding Control keystroke and change both of them to electrical device circuit tag. I'm gonna move it closer. So now I have tagged each individual receptacle and also the wire. If I'm tagging the wire in the home run, it's not necessary to do this because the wiring is telling me that those belong to the same circuit. I'll do the same with this one. T, G, click on the arrow, and then move it over. Now it's telling me that it's in the circuit number 2 and number 4. Okay, now we have created the wires and tagged all the elements in the power plant. Okay, now before finishing, I'm going to tag the panel. I'm going to hit TG, and it's showing me a question mark. When I click on the panel, I'm going to do it. It's because the panel probably doesn't have assigned any name. So I'm going to click escape twice, and I'm going to select the panel. When I select the panel, I'm going to the properties on the left window, and I'm going to find the panel name. So panel name right here. I'm going to name it L1 just to say it's a low voltage panel, L-1, and I'm going to hit apply. Now you can see that the tag it's being applied to. That's the important thing of Revit. If you change the name of the panel, it's going to automatically update on the tag. But remember, this is an annotation element as well as the other one. So if I go to another plan, I'm not going to be able to see these annotations because the annotations just belong to the view that they are placed at. Now we have finished. We have created the wire and tagged all the elements in the power plant.